So we're here in Atlanta getting ready for the Atlanta United Charlotte game. I'm here with Chris, who is Sorare Messiah. He's going to be doing his vlog for today's game. How are you doing?
Doing good, mate. I'm glad you made it down.
Yeah.
First ever Sorare meetup.
Yeah, nice long drive down here. Got to see my parents a little bit. We're going to go to the game later. Doing this pre-recorded interview, so I'm super excited to see what happens today. But I thought we would just get to know you a little bit. You're a little bit of a newer creator. You've done some incredible videos.
Thanks,
if
man.
you haven't seen his channel, absolutely go and subscribe to that. Unbelievable at the Galaxy game, at the Austin game. Now we're here in Atlanta. So we want to get to know you a little bit. Your kind of story, like how you got into Sorare, and maybe a few like off the wall kind of questions for you that I have. So
yeah, fire away.
We'll just jump right in here. So on Sorare, there's guys that you've never heard of that you buy just randomly, and now you cannot get rid of them. Who's that guy for you, or guy or guys?
I joined in January last year,
Yeah.
just before the boom, luckily, and I'd done the infamous scattergun approach. I had a budget. I was like, I'm going to put this much into this thing, check it out a little bit.
Yeah.
3 weeks later, I'd spent 5 times as much, bought a bunch of random players. Some of them terrible, but some of them worked out too. And one of them was I picked up a Cody Gakpo super rare, which now is an absolute balling card. But at
Who's
the time,
that guy? Never heard of him.
I'd never heard of him. He was injured, and I was actually really wanted Daniel Malin. And I was looking at him, and at the time I was like, I couldn't splash on him. So I was thinking, who else is in that front line? Because they were putting up big scores. I did a bit of research, and that's the beauty of Sorare. I did a bit of research. I saw Gakpo. He was a local boy. He'd been in a team previous, kind of a local hero. And I thought, I'll take a gamble on this guy. And I think I picked his super rare up for something like $1,500 at the time. And now it's gone to the moon. But
It's a little more than that now.
Yeah, but I've got an iron grip on it. I probably should sell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't want my wife to hear this either, but I can't let go of it. I'm a bit worried actually about Gakpo in the summer. He could get a bad move, but I think I'm going down with a ship with Cody Gakpo.
You have to at this point. So I want to know what your favorite moment that you've ever been in the stadium for. Like, this vlog is all about being live and being in person, being in the moment. What was the best thing that you've ever witnessed live? Whether it's a game you played in, a game that you saw, anything like that.
I've got one good memory and one bad memory. My favourite memory was when I used to have a season ticket at West Ham back when I lived in London, and we were terrible. Terrible side for all them years.
Still are.
Yeah, and it was a painful watch. And we pulled off the most random probably transfer coup in history when we were awful side. We get Javier Mascherano and Carlos Tevez show up, and we're like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But I had the privilege of watching Tevez, and he was unbelievable for us. We were in a relegation dogfight to the very last day.
Yeah.
But there was a game in the season, he had a free kick. My seat was up this side of the field, halfway line. He had a free kick, and I was right behind it, and he bent it in, and then he beelined straight for the crowd. And there's a famous, he jumps right in the crowd, everyone rushed down, the stadium just went mental. That was my probably best moment I was in the stadium for, because it meant so much, that goal, and the player was so loved. On the flip side, I went to Cardiff to watch West Ham Liverpool in the FA Cup final, and I couldn't get tickets in the West Ham end, so I was incognito in the Liverpool side, and we take the lead, and we're doing well in the game, and it goes to, we're winning right up until the end. I don't know if you remember, I was right behind Steven Gerrard, just stepping onto the ball, half volley, everyone around me going absolutely mental, and I'm just there crushed. No. And that was a very memorable experience, and obviously we lost on penalties in the end, but that was a memorable experience. There's one each side of the coin for you.
Nice. I love it. So a lot of people may not know, but you're actually a poker pro as well.
I am.
So kind of two different worlds, two different skill sets. So what are the skills that kind of transfer over? What are the skills that are a little bit different? Like what's different about Sorare as compared to poker?
Yeah, they're different, but there are a lot of similarities in the gameplay and the strategy behind it. You know, you're sort of trying to find different ways to navigate, whether it's in the market, trying to buy and sell players, or you're trying to navigate the actual gameplay itself, and understanding things like variance, which is important in poker, but in Sorare it's helped me sort of, sometimes I'll try and take a high variance approach, i.e. stacking is one, or the opposite of that, pick a guys who can go boom or bust if I think they haven't got the consistent scoring that they might have as a top tier player. So these different poker ideas where I can use the luck and the skill analogies to sort of make better Sorare decisions, it has helped me, I think, anyway.
Yeah, and the thing about variance too that a lot of people don't understand, and correct me if I'm wrong because you're the expert here, but the thing about variance is there's once somebody catches on to that strategy and they start to use it, the strategy becomes less and less effective, right? So you always have to kind of be a little different. You always have to come up with your own angle, so to speak, and you can kind of know other people's strategies and take advantage of that.
Yeah, in poker, that's kind of called the meta side of the game. So if the sort of population, if the managers in Sorare are all leaning one way, then you've got to be looking ahead to find a counter strategy that might separate you. Like if everyone's stacking Ajax, maybe you're better off splitting up them Ajax players. They're all sort of matching up with each other and you might get an edge.
So you're a West Ham fan. You've spoken about West Ham already. Who's your favorite player, either past or present, any team, but I assume it'll be a West Ham player?
It will be a West Ham player. Three spring to mind. So when I first started going to the stadium, we had a player, you probably know, Paolo Di Canio. And he was, somehow West Ham always have a typical maverick player, and he was like definitely one of them. He had some controversial moments in his career, but in terms of passion, you know, we were a poor team, so all you ask is people give 100%, they're passionate, and he was a brilliant player. So when I was a kid, I looked up to Paolo Di Canio. That probably explains some of my flaws that I have now, but we'll leave that out. Beyond that, the best player I've seen is Carlos Tevez at West Ham. He was just different class. He shouldn't have been playing for us. He obviously went on to do to the very top of the game. And right now, Declan Rice, 100% going to be England captain, best midfielder in the world. He's underrated, even though people talk about him, he's underrated. I watch him every week. He's an unbelievable player. I'm all in on Declan Rice. I have one of his cards. I can't afford his super rare yet, so I won't sell my Gakpo. But if I do, maybe there's a trade if someone's watching. I don't know. But yeah, Declan Rice, I'm all in on Declan. Unbelievable player. Hopefully we get him for one more season.
I was going to say, what are your thoughts on the transfer? Do you want the transfer? Do you not want the transfer?
I couldn't begrudge it. No, I don't. I want to keep him there. He's top class, and you want to see the best players in your club. But I couldn't begrudge him at this point. He gives everything every week, and he's just destined for the top. So the move's gonna happen. Hopefully we get one more year, and I'll be pretty happy with that.
All right, so you played a little bit of college soccer as well here in the States. You play poker, obviously. Outside of those two things, if you could be a pro in any other sport, what sport would it be and why?
For me, it would definitely be surfing, which is a little bit random.
Okay.
For a British guy, from London. I actually lived in Maui, Hawaii for a couple of years. Fell in love with it. It's a passion of mine still to this day, and like they have the best of both worlds. They get to travel, they get to do what they love, go to beautiful places, and they don't have like, you're not going to get swarmed like certain other celebrities. So I think for me, surfing would be
a little more under the radar. What's the best place you've ever surfed at?
It would have to be in Maui too. Yeah, there's a ton of great waves from beginner all the way to the one of the biggest waves in the world is on Maui too.
So you've been around a lot. Like I said, you played soccer, you've done poker, you've met a ton of awesome people. Who would you say is the most famous person you met? Who made the biggest impression on you?
The most famous person I've met has to be, I've met David Beckham in the US. Yeah, wow. And it was there's a little ski resort just outside of LA called Wrightwood, and this town is tiny. There's a little high street, and I was there in the summer with my family because we were going zip lining, and so it's me and my brother and my parents were up there, and it's a ghost town. It's completely dead. It was like a family day out. We're there. What are we doing here? We're in the middle of nowhere. And then we pull up to this little coffee shop, right? So we're like trudging over. We walk up and we see these 3 nice motorcycles outside, and we're like, oh, that's cool. We're checking them out. Like, that's random. We walk in. I'm looking at the order. My brother comes and taps me. He goes, I think that's David Beckham. I didn't even look because I was like, shut up. Like, I thought he was winding me up. Like, I weren't in the mood. Ordered my coffee, turn around, and lo and behold, there's 3 guys sitting in the corner at this ghost town in the middle of nowhere outside of LA, and it's David Beckham's there. Wow. And we're chatting to him, and he's doing a motorcycle tour around America, getting out there. Wow. And he's a lovely guy. We got a picture with him. I'll see if I can find it for you. Yeah, we got a picture, and yeah, lovely guy, and he's from close to where I grew up, so he's a bit of a local, a bit of a legend. So
nice.
Can't get much better than that.
No, it really doesn't get much better than that. Well, we're pumped for the game. We're going to
go.
hopefully see something really exciting today. Part 3 of the vlogging series on Atlanta United should be out a little bit later this week. Super excited to get to sit down with Chris here. Watch this guy. He's got big things coming. Thanks, guys. Until the next time, Vamos United.